Hi there, Chris here. I have this cool PAPAIZ, made in Brazil. I just got it. Here's the bitting on the key. And why do we have a paper towel here? Well, when I got it, the thing I didn't like the most was all of these edges were very, very sharp. Even just holding it hurt. So I usually don't clean up locks, but if it's something it's that noticeable, you gotta. I like to do something, especially these corners. I mean, you could open up your finger on this. So what I did, and often do in this type of case, is I took 600 sandpaper and went, across lightly, across all of these little edges up here. Didn't have to do that. That was already soft. There. With the 600 sandpaper. And when you do that, you're breaking through to, you're actually removing materials, so you're down to shiny brass. And then you have all these little highlighted corners and edges and a darkened padlock, which isn't that bad, but this one was very mottled. So I then took, I thought, I just want to take some of that mottling out, lighten it a little bit. So I took Mother's Mag polish. You can use Brasso, and I use that with a cotton sock, and I use a lot of it and go around, try and keep it out of here. You can cut a piece of blue tape for this, put blue tape across the whole thing, take a sharp fingernail, go all the way around it about 3 times, and then peel off, and then that's sealed off. But you can't do that up here. So you open it up, and you just try and keep it out of here, and it's kind of gunky, and you have to kind of dig it out with a toothpick, but that's okay. So I took all the darkened modeling off of it, and smoothed the edges. It took me about 15 minutes to do this. So at that point, you have this all gunked up with polishing paste, which is turned black from all the stuff you've taken off, or you've polished off. And then I just flood it, wipe it off with a paper towel, flood it with the lighter fluid. And that will get all the polish off. And then if I've gotten any inside, I try and dig it out. I put the key in, wipe off the key. But with all the flooding, with the lighter fluid, you've really dried out any kind of lubricant that's in there. So then I come back and give it the slightest squirt of WD-40. Some people say, oh, I don't use that. There's still some in there, but you can see it's not coming out black. And it is, a little bit of lubrication is good for that. I also shoot a little bit down this way so that those pawls and the actuator work smoothly. What you don't want to do is put so much lubricant in there, WD or whatever else, that when you go to pick it, you don't still have those nice crisp clicks. Let's see if I can do it. You can still hear nice crisp clicks. If you get clunks, then those pin chambers up in the Bible are just, got too much lubricant in there, and it hampers picking. But if it's still nice and crisp, that's what you're looking for. If you get too much lubricant in there, then you kind of have to go back and flush some of that out with the lighter fluid. And it's a pain, Soup. You just kind of want to get just enough in there. And it's a little tricky with padlocks, but you do 2 or 3 of them and you get the feel for it. So these are cool locks. I have picked it before I smoothed it off and buffed it out a little bit. And Suki picked it too, didn't you, Suk? Yes. So they got a lot of funny spools in here. I wouldn't be surprised if they have their different sizes and or maybe mushrooms in here. But I use light tension and try and get some sets so I can move on to the false sets and find the spools it's hanging up on. Sometimes that takes a while. I think, hopefully you can hear that. Okay, I'm in a fairly deep false set. Hopefully you can hear the crispness of those pins, kind of the snap as opposed to the snook, where they're too saturated with lube. All right, some counter on somebody in the back. Okay, so I have a deeper false set. Hard to see, but it's there. Oh, I should not have gone up front. Oh, maybe not. Okay. There we go. So we're open, and that was pretty easy. That wasn't much of a battle. If, say, I wanted to get rid of these marks, 600 is not going to do it. You're going to probably have to go down to 250, then 300, then 400, then 5, 6, 800, all the way up to get these out. And you got to just keep going as you're working through it, and make sure that each grade of sandpaper that you're using is taking out the scratches before it. And so if you wanted to get it looking like this, which is fairly smooth, but you know there's still some lines in there, you'd have to take it all the way up to 3200 to do that, and then polish it, buff it out, polish it out. And then, I mean, it would be striking bright. But I think this, for a good, 15-minute cleanup. Do I have a lock that it looked like? Let's see. Well, it was darker than this, but it was also modeled. But it wasn't as dark as, oh, I don't have one. Anyway, but now it's not modeled. You can see here, I didn't do it quite as much. You can see just a little bit of that, but that's all right. It looks pretty natural, and this is gonna wear down as I pick it and play with it, and it's exposed to air and all that. And it's gonna be a very, very handsome lock. Enoch springs. What are Enoch springs? Those might be those anti-mating ones that have the little coils in the middle. I'm not sure. I did know at one time, I've forgotten. So anyway, that is that PAPAIZ. I know I'm not pronouncing it right. I know Bronx Lock Picker 60 does know how to pronounce it. He has let me know how to pronounce it, and I have forgotten. Anyway, if you're watching, Bronx, hope everything's working out for you, and sending good thoughts your way. All right, that's about it for me. Thanks for watching. Very cool lock. Certainly worth taking the sharp edges off of and cleaning it up a little bit. So we will see you next time.